It's the height of hypocrisy for people who claim to be the champions of rights for women to deny the very biological existence of women. And this recent rule change that the House just actually voted and passed on today that you were talking about, removing references to, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters from congressional rules and administration, it's mind-blowing because it shows just how out of touch with reality and the struggles of everyday Americans people in Congress are, but also it shows that, their first act as this new Congress could have been to make sure that elderly Americans are able to get the COVID vaccine now alongside frontline healthcare workers, elderly Americans who have the highest mortality rates from this virus. But instead of doing something that could actually help save people's lives, they're choosing instead to say, well, you can't say mother or father in any of this congressional language. It's astounding.
That's a very important point that a Democrat, Tulsi Gabbard, who is wrong on politics, but clearly a good person, clearly a person of some decency and character, wrong about a lot, hates Trump, I get it, but still a reasonable, a reasonable person on some things, and I think at her core, someone that you can at least have a real conversation with. And she's not, why the left has always hated her? Because she doesn't disparage Republicans. She doesn't despise them. She disagrees with them, but she doesn't think if you voted for Donald Trump in the past, you're beneath contempt. Maybe it's in part because she served her country in the military and has greater ideals and aspirations beyond just the partisan fight. As I've said, I think she's wrong on some things, but on this, she's making a key point. People are dying in large numbers from COVID-19. There's a need for urgent government action. The vaccine rollout at many different levels is too slow and is preposterous. All right. What they're doing here, throwing vaccine out in the trash sometimes because they can't give it to people who aren't the people they're supposed to give it to, but they've already thawed out some of it. And so for bureaucratic reasons, they can't get it to, the exact right group. So they give it to no one. They throw it out. Think about that. That's actually happening. And while that's going on, instead of taking urgent action to get this to people, I'm talking about seniors should get the vaccine. The vaccine is less dangerous for seniors than the virus is. Okay, that's clear. If you're a senior listening to this, please, it's up to you, but I would implore you, even the people that have been like me, that have been talking about the craziness of the COVID mask shaming, lockdown lunatics, all of us are saying, well, if you're over 60, over 65, and you can get this vaccine, that may be the difference between you getting hospitalized with this and you living another, 20, 25, 30 years happily, healthily. So please give it some real consideration. But what Tulsi is saying here is that they're talking about eliminating mother and father from all congressional documents. You can't say mother and father. You got to have more gender inclusive language. Now, I know on the one hand, this is idiotic and just worthy of mockery, but it's also part of a mindset. While we sit here and talk about, and Republicans do this all the time, legislation, what can we do? What should the tax code be? All these things. You know what they do? They change the rules of society. They change the culture. They change the way we're allowed to speak. Because that submission feeds into all the other policies, all the other things they're trying to do. They know that if they can get us to talk about issues a certain way, they can also get enough of us to agree with them on those issues. This degendering of language is insane, but there's a reason they're doing it. This is all part of a plan, and we're about to see this on steroids for the next 2 years.
Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.